Hey guys, welcome into Sports Map as we constantly kind of kick around the latest and greatest in Houston sports news and otherwise. I'm joined by AJ Hoffman of The Blitz on ESPN 97.5 Houston. I'm Joel Blank. I'm on the press box weekdays 11 to 2 on ESPN 97.5 Houston and 92.5 FM. AJ, let's get right down to it. Let's talk about some of the most untradeable sports figures in the city of Houston, Texas. We've got 3 teams. We've got plenty of problems. We've got plenty of players that kind of fit the mold. I think the first obvious choice for me is Desean Watson, simply because the Texans have wallowed away in mediocrity and swings and misses on so many quarterbacks since their existence, with the exception of a short window of Matt Schaub, that I don't think that they can get rid of Desean Watson. You've given him the big contract. You don't want him to leave. With as big of a debacle as Bill O'Brien is right now, the one shining star, and I know that you don't think it's as bright as other people do, but the one shining star I think they could ill afford to lose is Desean Watson.
Well, I do agree now. And I mean, obviously, he's paid for the foreseeable future. You couldn't trade him if you wanted to anyway, because it would financially cripple your franchise. But I do agree. While I am in the boat that says Desean is not elite, I think Desean is very good with the potential to be elite someday. I do think that he's right now the cornerstone of this franchise, and if they are going to go anywhere, and I don't know that they are, it's going to be with him. And so, yeah, I agree with you. There's no way they can move on from him.
Kick us off on your side. Who you got on your mind that you think is untradeable?
I'll go one for a different reason on the Texans. I'll say Whitney Merciless. I think it's and not because you can't live without him, but because it's an awful contract and it's an untradeable contract. You could mention David Johnson as well, but Merciless is a guy that they paid like he was a top-tier pass rusher, and top-tier pass rushers make a lot of money. And he is not that. He has not been anything near that since he got paid. It's becoming a burden for this team. I think that the money they gave him basically gave them no chance to keep Jadeveon Clowney. Even if they'd wanted to, they would have had no chance to get him. And I think it's going to hamstring him for years to come, because he doesn't look like he's about to turn into some sort of a big pass rush guy.
Well, let's also be honest. Top-tier pass rushers make top-tier tackles in bunches. Last week, he had a goose egg. That's not going to get it done either. All right, we've got plenty more to get to. Before we get to that, one deal that you can count on is the good people at Fitz Roofing. If you need anything done with your roof, there's only one place to call. It's Fitz Roofing. They're dedicated to the people of Houston, Texas, and if you call 832-521-3001, you're going to get a free, no-obligation inspection today. They're going to come to you and tell you what they can do and then go back on their way. If you want them to come back, you just get back in touch with them. They take care of you every step of the way. It's Fitz Roofing, making a difference one home at a time. All right, AJ, I'll let you go with your second pick because we've got plenty to choose from, and it's all 3 teams. So everything is fair game. Who you got?
I'll go to the Rockets. And while everybody's talking about should the Rockets trade James Harden, should the Rockets trade Russell Westbrook, I think the guy that would be the most difficult for them to trade is Eric Gordon. Because Eric Gordon is now making the kind of money that says he is a star player. And what we've seen is he's not that. He's an aging sort of, the downside of his career is upon us, and he's paid like he's a guy who's on the rise. I think it's just a bad deal. I thought it was a bad deal when they signed it. And I could see a team saying, you know what, we've got to make a big splash. Let's get James Harden. Let's get Russell Westbrook. I don't see anybody saying, you know what would be really great for our franchise, adding Eric Gordon in the contract that he's got right now.
Well, and on that level, Daryl Morey is always a guy that kind of levies contracts heavy in his direction, where he has the upper hand and they have the control of whether to keep or not. From what I've heard, Eric Gordon has no trade clauses in his contract, which makes him even more untradeable. And who the hell would think that he was worthy of getting something like that? I'll go back to the 2 players you mentioned because it's a topic that everybody wants to talk about, Harden and Westbrook. Could you or would you trade either one of them? I think that the most ludicrous thing to me is that teams are out there wanting Russell Westbrook. I mean, he's proven for all he's done in his career that his biggest weakness is a glaring one in the fact that he can't shoot. And with so many teams working with analytics and how important the 3 ball is and offensive productivity per possession, Russ doesn't give you that consistently enough for teams to be saying, hey, I want that guy. And oh, by the way, he's making $40+ million a year. There was a ludicrous article out there that I read this morning that said that the Miami Heat after this season, with losing some guys, would really be interested in getting Russell Westbrook. I'm thinking, take him for a bowl of soup, the money off the contract, and maybe either Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. When I read what they said was coming back, there's no way in hell Miami's going to give up both Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks, regardless of what else they throw in. I think the only team stupid enough to trade for Russell Westbrook might be the Knicks, and even them with new management might not be that dumb or dumb enough. With that being said, all right, let's keep going. You got who's next on your list?
Yeah, I can't picture. I'm with you. I can't picture the Heat, who are about to go to the NBA Finals, blowing up their team so they can add Russell Westbrook. Doesn't make much sense. Before we get to the last ones, I want to tell you about Boomer Naturals, guys. Boomer Naturals masks. Everybody's got to wear a mask. You want a mask that's going to protect you. Boomer Naturals has nano silver woven into the fabric, so it's not only getting you by. It's not getting you in the grocery store and stuff like that. It's actually doing its job and protecting you, which is what we really want in a mask these days. They're available in all CVS right now, or if you want to save 20%, you can use promo code Hoffman when you go to boomernaturals.com. You'll save 20% there, or like I said, go to any CVS and get them. That's boomernaturals.com, promo code Hoffman.
There you go. All right, so we've gotten a couple out of the way. I noticed that the baseball team to this point has kind of had a little bit of immunity, but who you got coming back in terms of one that might fit that bill?
I mean, there's a little bit of a laugher, but Justin Verlander's contract is currently untradeable. He is one of the highest paid pitchers in all of baseball for the rest of this year and next year, and he will not see a mound for the rest of this year or next year. So you literally could not get a team, you couldn't pay a team to take Justin Verlander's contract at this point.
And I'll follow that up with, if you want comedy, boy, do I have one for you. I'll throw out Bill O'Brien, because the fact of the matter is coaches have been traded in the past, as John Gruden has proven, and you can get some pretty good value in return, especially a team in dire need of draft picks. But when you mention the name Bill O'Brien, I don't think that there is any team in all of professional football that would say, I want that guy, and I'm willing to give up anything to get him. Simply put, before he even took over the general manager role, between time management, play calling, challenge flags, you name it, he's done it wrong. And now our dirty little secret is known across the nation. I don't think anybody touches Bill O'Brien. He's definitely untradeable, in my opinion.
Breaking news: Jets offer Adam Gase for Bill O'Brien. What are we doing here?
Well, does that come with or without the death stare, and you can figure out if he's looking at you or not? Because that might actually figure out if they're actually telling the truth. All right, with that being said, we'll wrap it up for this edition on sportsmap.com. But keep coming back to SportsMap. We'll always have updated videos. We'll give you the topics that keep you talking. If you have comments or otherwise, put them down on the bottom. We'd love to see them and hear from you. We'll be back with more. And thanks for joining us.